Hello, welcome back. Today I would like to talk about another book of mine. This is a bold tale, a bold book. It's called Ars Amartia, the Legion of Hell. And it speaks about a character, a man called Elias Crane, who, so to say, dies and enters hell. And I wanted to write his story or what he encounters there. Elias Crane is a man bound by ancient names and forbidden desire, and he descends into a world where even salvation carries the scent of hell. This is the cover description. This book is it's almost to say a tale of darkness, no? At the same time, it speaks about life as well, about faith, about something unseen. It is a work of fiction. It is a novel, no? But it is inspired by a book called Ars Goetia, written by King Solomon some 600 years ago, where King Solomon describes the 72 demons of Ars Goetia, no? And in the beginning of the novel, I describe from the Ars Goetia, I describe, the 72 demons. Very shortly, I made like an infernal codex, the 72 kings and lords of sin. Just for the reader to have an understanding of their powers and what they represent. And then the novel starts with Elias Crane and his descent into hell. Then the book goes over 233 pages. And why did I write this book? Well, it is inspired by Ars Goetia, and I've created my own called Ars Amartia. It's almost Amartia means sin. Ars is the way, a way of something, no? So the way of the sin is almost to say what sin does and where sin brings one. It's almost like a tale that one can read and understand, something about life or something about faith. And I find it very fascinating book, definitely of something of my interest, for people who do have interest in something more dark. Elias Crane, so to say, starts his journey. I will read a little bit from the beginning of the book. Ars Amartia, the Legion of Hell. To enter hell is to forget light. The gate is not a door, it is a wound, torn into the fabric of existence, pulsing and alive, lined with jagged teeth of obsidian and whispering mouths that murmur the names of the damned. The wind that blows from it carries the scent of burnt hair, rusted blood, and ancient sorrow. As one crosses the threshold, sight itself warps. Shadows bend wrong, there is no sky, no sun, only a red-black void where gravity pulls downward in every direction. Here begins the first descent. A vast endless desert of bone dust and charred skin, the plain of screams stretches far beyond mortal comprehension. The ground is soft and fleshy, pulsing faintly, and every footstep leaves a bruise on the living landscape. Buried just beneath the surface are the mouths of the forsaken, writhing, gnawing, shrieking into the endless dark. Blackened winds roar across the plain, carrying the voices of those who never stop reliving their sins. Some try to claw their way free, most are crushed under the weight of memory. Above, massive vulture-like beasts circle endlessly, familiars of demons' lords waiting for the rare moment when a soul escapes to feast on its final breath of hope. Shaped like a cathedral drowned in rot, this city stands as a mockery of sanctity. Its spires twist into thorns, the stained glass windows bleed, the bells chime out not with sound but with hallucinations, every toll a memory you didn't know you had, twisted and cruel. Here dwell the demons of false repentance, Andras, Malphas, and Gap, each keeping court over those who once wore masks of virtue but live lives of hidden corruption. The streets are lined with statues, once holy men and women, now petrified in the poses of agony. Their mouths are open, inside are whispering flies. Blackened wood of leafless, sinew-strung trees, each limb twisted to bear rusted hooks. From these hang the souls of the violent, murderers, warmongers, abusers, suspended by the flesh in intricate, ever-changing patterns designed by the demon Hecate, the architect of pain. The hooks shift without warning, tearing and healing, tearing again. The forest hums like an orchestra tuned to torment, with sinew taut as strings. Travelers who pass through without guilt hear nothing, but those who have blood on their hands are welcomed as new ornaments. This is no water, but a vast lake of bile, fat, and undigested rot. The damned bob and sing, blotted and blind, forever chewing the flesh of others and vomiting their own. The water itself is alive, hungry, and it wraps around those who sink, pulling them deeper into its stomach. The demon Beelzebub reigns here, his form blotted and magnificent, crowned in roaches and seated on a throne of pulsating meat. He sings lullabies to the drowning, promising indulgence, and feeds them nightmares through their ears. No one leaves the lake hungry. They simply eat until they become the next feast. A maze of mirrors that reflect now what you are, but what you have done. Every reflection is a scene, vivid, looping, inescapable. Infidelity, treason, abandonment. Those who walk these halls see only their worst moments, repeated infinitely in glass. The demon Glacia Labolas roam here, speaking softly behind the glass, tempting the viewer to shatter it in rage. But each mirror is a soul. Break one and you take their place. The screams are silent, but the glass whips blood. At the lowest depth, buried beneath realms, not even the demons, their name, stands the Black Temple. A cyclopean structure of flesh, stone, and weeping iron. It pulses like heart. No windows, no doors, only an opening shaped like a screaming face. Inside Lucifer, no longer the rebel, no longer the fallen angel of light. Here he is God in reverse, the embodiment of will unbound by morality. He sits on a throne of severed hollows, his wings dipped in oil, his crown forged from the bones of saints. The temple is silent. Time stops. Every soul who sees him drops to their knees, not in reverence, but in the primal terror of encountering something too vast, too ancient, and too perfect in its cruelty. Some say even Lucifer fears the void. Beneath the Black Temple lies a realm untouched even by demons. It is not hell, it is the remainder, the cast-off, the hunger that hell itself tries to forget. This is where Elias now resides. No form, no thought, just echo of pain, forever. At the pinnacle of the realm, on a plateau of jagged black stone, stands Lucifer's throne, an imposing structure of blackened obsidian, seemingly alive with the pulsating energy of hell itself. The throne is large, enough to swallow any mortal being whole, and its surface is smooth, but darkly reflective, like a mirror that reflects only despair. It is unyielding seat, cold and hard, where Lucifer sits in silent dominion over his realm. His throne does not sit upon a floor of stone or marble. It is suspended above the abyss, as though it were placed there by some dark force beyond comprehension. The throne is surrounded by an aura of oppressive darkness, and as Lucifer sits upon it, the shadows around him grow deeper, stretching into the distance like the tendrils of an ancient and malevolent creature. So this is at the beginning of the novel. The idea of the novel which I had is that Elias, as I said, Elias Crane descends into hell, and then he meets all 72 demons of hell, no? And the 72 kings or lords of sin. And I included as well dialogue between him, Elias Crane, and the lords of sin or the demons. So to say, there is a reflection on his life, no, and all the sins that he has done, or the mistakes, or the things that he has done wrong. And there is, of course, with each demon, because each demon or each king is different, different dialogues and different discussions between him and them. and almost to say Elias Crane tries to escape hell or tries to find a way out, but the idea of the book is that there is no way out, no. So the book I wanted to write, it is finally about almost like the hope, if someone reads the book, no, first of course for just interesting aspect of the book itself, but the idea is to create now something that makes somebody to do good, no, to say, well, if this is the faith now of somebody who in their life do things or I would say sins, no, in one way or another, even there are different sins and there are different punishment for the sins in hell, no, there is a difference between them. So to say, well, one can understand or one can experience this in a fictional way, and to create something to say, well, I will try as my best self, no, to live a life without sin or to live a life close to God, just because of the element of how cruel, how immense, how dark, how terrible hell is, no. So there's this catharsis, no, of the soul, to imagine, to say, well, I don't think nothing deserves in this world, no, to lose one soul through sin, and experience hell. Some people who sin actually experience hell even in their own life. That's the to say there is no redemption, there is no forgiveness, there is no mercy, no, from the kings of hell for the sins which are committed. So in the second time I wanted to write a book, no, that literally as well describe hell, which is for a writer I think quite interesting to do, to say, well, how one can describe hell or how one can create a story, you know, that is of interest for the reader as well. To be honest, the first time I wrote the book I was not sure if I want to publish it because of its thematic. No, it's quite dark and heavy, but I thought, well, it is in a way necessary, for people to know, humans to understand, and to say, well, if a life of sin brings me to a place like this, I don't want to live my life in sin. I want to be good. I want to do good. I want to follow God and make sure that my path, my soul path, goes to heaven. So even the kings of hell or the demons of hell have how to say, their own agenda, to say, well, if somebody has done a terrible sin in life, especially when it comes to something, a very evil act, do deserve to go there and do deserve to suffer in some way or another, because there should be a difference between good and evil, and so to say, the kings of the hell or the demons of hell, actually they accomplish their task, so to say, well, the evil do need to be punished, so they learn from their own, or not necessarily learn, but they simply have to be punished for their own sins, So the book has, almost to say, like a very dark descent, but hopefully ascension into something positive. Like to say, from something very dark, one can still draw light and still is able to change their life in so way that their soul goes towards the light. And as I've said, it is inspired by Ars Goetia, which is a grimoire that King Solomon has written many years ago. It's a very famous book where King Solomon describes the kings or the demons of hell, the 72 demons of Ars Goetia, which I think are quite famous and have somehow worked on the imagination of many people, and has drawn inspiration for other books, no, as well as from my book. And I think it is an interesting story that Elias Crane, a fictional character, is able to create something for us that we learn. In the same time, we can read a book that is of interest. It is something new. It is something almost like something that maybe we are sometimes scared to know, but at the same time it is of help, it is of interest. It does, it is a tale of darkness, of myth, of something very haunting, but definitely a book that has its own repertoire, has its own beauty as well. If you're interested to read it, to buy the book, it's called Ars Amartia, The Legion of Hell, written by Anaïs Giulia. You can find it on Amazon. I sell all my books on Amazon, internationally, any country in the world where you are at. You can order it, and you can have it in paper, and you can read it, enjoy it, and hopefully it is a book now that is of interest for you. As I've said, I like dark gothic books. I do enjoy dark subjects, or something that is not necessarily, I say, not horror, but this is, a book that it is close to that. So it is the story of Elias Crane and his descent now into hell, and the description of hell, or the different demons that live there. And it is of interest what happens to Elias Crane, what happens to him, and the interesting dialogue that is between him and 72 lords of the Ars Goetia. And I think that was what really pushed me now to write the book. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.